Your reality is a fragile house of cards built on the illusion of logic. But what happens when logic fails? When the universe simply breaks? Welcome to the world of paradoxes, the glitches in the matrix of existence. Imagine you build a machine that can rewrite your own history. You travel back in time to find your grandfather before he ever meets your grandmother. You pull the trigger, he is gone. But here is the problem. If he never lived, you were never born. If you were never born, who pulled the trigger? A loop with no beginning and no end. Can the fastest runner in the world ever catch a slow turtle? Zeno says no. To reach the turtle, you must first cover half the distance, then half of that, and half of that. An infinite series of steps. Mathematically, you are trapped forever in a fraction. You never arrive. If you replace every single board of a wooden ship one by one, until no original part remains, is it still the same ship? If you build a new ship from the old parts, which one is real? You have a heap of sand, thousands of grains piled high together. Remove one grain. Is it still a heap? Of course it is. But at what point does it stop? When does a heap become nothing? In a small town, the barber shaves everyone who doesn't shave themselves. But who shaves the barber? If he shaves himself, he breaks his own rule. A pilot is crazy if he keeps flying. He can stop if he asks. But asking to stop proves he is sane. So, he must keep flying. The universe is infinite. Billions of stars. Billions of chances for life. Yet, we hear nothing. Where is everybody? The silence is terrifying. If I tell you today is opposite day, am I lying or telling the truth? If it is, then it isn't. If it isn't, then it is. Logic collapses. Statistics can lie. Small groups show one trend, but together they reverse. To save a tolerant society, we must be intolerant of the intolerant. You travel back and give Einstein his own theory. He publishes it, but who actually thought of it? The information has no origin. Blind optimism can kill you. To survive, you must face the brutal, cold truth. Making things efficient doesn't save resources. It just makes us use much more. If there are infinite stars, why is the night sky dark and empty? Saving money is good for you, but it's a disaster for the world. A prisoner is told he will be hanged on a day he doesn't expect. He proves it's impossible. Then on Wednesday, the executioner knocks. He is surprised. You need water to live, but it's cheap. Diamonds are useless, but expensive. Pinocchio says, "My nose will grow now." A logical nightmare begins. The harder you chase happiness, the further it stays away from your reach. A crocodile steals a child. He promises to return it if you predict his move. You say, you won't return him. Now the crocodile is trapped in logic. What happens when an unstoppable sword hits a shield that can't be broken? To reach your destination, you must first walk halfway there. A simple rule. But then half of that, and half of that. An infinite sequence of halves. Look at an arrow in flight. At any single instant, it is exactly where it is. If it's stationary at every instant, then motion itself is just a grand illusion. Welcome to the Grand Hotel. Infinite rooms, and every single one is occupied. To fit you in, everyone moves one room down. Infinity has no limit. A simple card. The front says the back is telling the truth, but the back says the front is lying. Your brain starts to burn. I am lying. If it's true, it's false. If it's false, it's true. A single grain of millet falls. It makes no sound that you can hear, but 1,000 grains create a crash. How can many nothings become something? In the cold void of space, a random brain might just pop into existence. It has all your memories. It thinks it's you. And it's more likely than the universe itself. Giving an ecosystem too much food can trigger a collapse. Abundance is a trap. A broken product makes you angry, but fixing it perfectly makes you even happier. The service recovery paradox proves that a solved mistake is better than perfection. When two nations have nuclear weapons, a massive war becomes impossible, but it makes small, dirty conflicts much more likely. Peace is built on terror. Try to suppress a thought and it becomes the only thing you see. Your brain rebels against your will. The more you fight, the more you lose. We love choice, but too many options lead to a paralyzing anxiety. In a group of just 23 people, there's a 50% chance two share a birthday. To prove all ravens are black, looking at a green apple actually helps. In the quantum world, a particle is in every state at once. Superposition. A cat in this box is both alive and dead until you look inside. Observation collapses reality. By looking, you force the universe to make a choice. Speed slows down time. Your twin travels to the stars and returns younger. You're now older than your own brother. Time is not a constant. Math proves that your friends on average have more friends than you do. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an object that cannot be moved? They surrender. Both cannot exist in the same universe. Logic dictates a stalemate. You prepare for a disaster. The disaster is avoided. Now, everyone thinks you failed. Adding a new road to a city can actually make traffic much worse. Humans prefer a guaranteed win over a better chance. Logic and fear never agree. A group can agree to do something that literally nobody in the group wants. Whales have trillions of cells, yet they rarely get cancer. Biology ignores its own rules. AI can solve math in seconds, but simple human movement is its greatest nightmare. Information cannot be destroyed. Yet black holes swallow everything into a dark, empty void. Can an all-powerful being create a rock so heavy that even they cannot lift it? The closer you measure a coastline, the longer it gets. It is mathematically infinite. It is rational to believe you won't win, yet irrational to believe no one will. There is no such thing as an uninteresting number. The first boring number becomes interesting. 50 glitches in the matrix. 50 reasons why our logic is just a fragile dream. Are you the observer? Or are you just another part of the crash? Logic is a lie. Watch your step.